What's up, everybody? I am doing a post commentary now that I am realizing how stupid I was and the fact that I could upload from my PS4 directly. Anyway, you live, you learn. So, better videos, hopefully. I know the mic's not great, but I'm working with what I got on my headset. This is Surviving the Aftermath. There's a lot of, like, customization stuff that I'd be, like, skipping over real quick right here because I wasn't sure how to do the recording manually on the PS4, so I was still kind of learning, but it is what it is. You just pick a couple like challenge levels, ways that you want the world to work, things to that extent, and then you kind of just start the game. So right here I am just I'm setting everything up and getting it all good and ready to go. Sorry for the loading screen here. I'm not used to doing this in post. Usually I do everything, you know, directly on the computer and when I'm actually playing it, but this is different. But it's basically a little survival kind of game, more or less. It's a simulation builder, for lack of better words. But this is kind of just me testing everything and figuring out how this whole process works, so doing it from the PS4. But so everything being said, it's kind of a short test run video, for lack of better terms. I don't know what else to call it. Okay, so it's gonna boot up. So this is like your little initial area, and you get a different world seed every time, so it's pretty dynamic in that respect. I don't know how else to describe it, but so first thing you do is you go and you basically you put down your campsite like this by clicking your settler, which is like your very first person, and then right here you basically just wait for him to build it out, and then what you do here is you click on the guy. There was a lot that I was still figuring out, but you basically highlight the dude. There's a little spiel here, but you shoot the flare off, and that's how you get other survivors to come to your camp. And then here in a minute you'll see me starting to build the tents, which is the first thing you need. Feel free to pause the video if you feel like you're gonna play this. Feel free to leave a comment, anything. Everything helps. A like, it's all appreciated. Hopefully I can get to doing better quality videos for everybody now, even if I don't have a camera. So this is where people showed up, and basically first thing you gotta worry about is, you know, I was not selecting the right person here. It is kind of a little finicky, but so you just follow the tutorial basically. But first thing you're going to build is, like I said, the houses, or the tents in this case actually, and they support 30 people per tent. So I'm just going to kind of set these down like that. I was just thinking out mentally where I should put everything, because I didn't want it to be too close to the pollution, and there's other factors like that that come into play, so it's just one of those things. You learn as you go. So you'll see them build here for a minute. I do like a simulation game though. I grew up on this kind of stuff too. I mean, I play everything. I'm not biased for the most part. I would say racing is like the thing that I play the least, but not that I occasionally don't play one. It's just not like my main thing. I kind of I like building worlds. What can I say? I like watching the little people move around. I know, I'm the type of person to play it at 1 time speed, and that probably drives people crazy, but you know, when you're just trying to chill, it's pretty good. You know? It's one of those things for me. They're just slowly building away. Okay, another tent. They're almost done with the second one. I didn't know what that was or how it worked, so I kind of highlighted it just to figure out what the idea of the pollution did. So it's explaining resources. And it's basically saying, yeah, you only got a limited amount, blah blah blah. Typical survivor simulation game. But some things kind of progress fast and some are slow, but sorry, I need a sip of something. So it takes a second for things to like fully click. What was I doing here? Okay, yeah, water sources. So, like, the area that is green is considered fertile land, and that's where you can build a well to get the most. So basically you want to put them in those green areas to provide the water for people. But there's also a thing I build later called a water collector that you can kind of like put on the edge of where the lake or the water is, and it kind of like gradually gathers water that they can use over time. So they're just going to build their little well right now. So, okay, this is where it teaches you resource gathering. So, essentially, you build a stockpile and food storage, and then you can designate by going into the building and hitting square where you want the actual work area to be. So, even if the building is in one place, you can tell them to go work in another area. So basically the little lumber pile that you see kind of next to that big heap in the middle, the stockpile will allow them to just start crafting that resource. And, well, crafting, I should say hoarding. But then, so the food situation, you want to put them where you have some kind of food source that people can gather. What did it teach me next here? I forget. Oh, this is where I was like, oh yeah, I should probably move the work area out, because there was a third berry that thing that I highlighted like that, and that gave me more resource. That's how you do the move where they're actually sourcing something from. This is the water collector thing I was talking about. I didn't quite understand how it was built at first, because sometimes it needs like specific properties on the land and the right kind of space, and it has to be built a certain way on top of it. So I already played this little part, you know, minus having the issues and figuring this whole thing out. Um, but yeah, so food, you're going to want to get a trapper. And I didn't realize this for the longest time when I was playing the first couple times, that you gotta like put the work area of the trapper in an area where you know that there is animals. Because I was under the impression that they were just gonna hunt in that little area because of all the green dots, and later on, I didn't realize it until later. Yeah, uh, you can mess up by not having uh, the right area designated, and they won't be able to make any food. And I didn't realize this at first, so my apologies. But if you highlight a person, I just picked a scrapper and a fighter, so we had basic people when I started, because that's one of the first things you go over, essentially, is what type of survivors, you know, like specialists. But basically you can hit triangle and then it'll pull you up to the top where you can tell them to do stuff manually. So this thing is a recycler, so you can get plastic. But that basically breaks that down. Sorry if I'm quiet. I'm assessing what I was doing at the same time. I'm not used to recording the audio in post. Okay, so roads are good because not only does it move people faster, but I guess it takes less endurance or stamina from the actual person walking a road opposed to walking in the middle of nowhere, which that logic checks out. So I just kind of started building basic little roads here so that they, and I didn't realize they had to actually like go and dig the roads. So that was crazy. I didn't realize that at all. Now this threw me off big time. Because they don't explicitly tell you that when you're in this menu, you have to hit R2, and I didn't actually have anything built as far as something that was producing something. So right here, I not only was a little confused, but I had to wait for these, the recycler and the tanner, or the hunter, or whatever they are, over here to build. And then I got really confused because they don't initially tell you that, and you'll see it here in a minute, but when I open the menu, I didn't realize it until I come back in the second clip chunk of me playing this, that you had to hit R2 in order to even access the worker panel, because that opens up the info tab, and they were like not very explicit about telling me that. So I'm probably just gonna not talk here for the last minute or whatever of this clip, and then I'll come back and explain things. Okay, so this is where I came back and realized that you could do the R2 thing, and I added a person to the work thing. But this explains building the gate. Basically says that it's a huge resource. It could be good or bad. Sometimes potentially is what it said. Sorry, excuse me. I haven't gotten that far to actually experience having the gate complete. But, yeah, this part, I'm basically just kind of building everything out and waiting for the gate. I don't remember exactly when everything happens, so I'm probably going to skim through this off and on. But I'll be talking here and there. So right about here, this is where I actually ran into the first instance of an event. And I guess the food went bad from being outside. It gives you like a little description of what's going on, and then, oh, excuse me. You basically pick which option you think is better. In this case, I actually made the right choice by throwing out the rotten food. I kind of debated about it for a second, but to me it just seems sensible because we weren't like even really developed, so people getting sick in an initial part of, I guess, building the infrastructure, for lack of better terms, was what I was concerned with. But see, everybody liked that. So I don't know how much more I'll commentate. I'll probably just let people watch this part at least. But I'll probably come back near the end of the video, or if something else happens, to at least sign off and whatnot.
What you need? What's up?
Your orders?
So right about here is where it warned me about hunting. And apparently things can just attack you, whether you're defending yourself or not, or whether, I guess it could be something as simple as just walking into the wrong territory of the wrong animal from the way that they described it. So I guess that's another thing for you guys to watch out for if you play.
Yep.
How may I help?
So this is right where I figured out, oh, I didn't have enough animals for the trapper. And as soon as I moved it here, I realized my mistake. Because the thing went over, that was over the top of the thing went away and it finally started production. So, still learning, but any game like this is a lot of learning. Well, guys, this is pretty much the end of the episode, so you know what to do. Take it easy, stay safe out there, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next episode.